What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy MrBaboon back with a reaction video. This time we have Frederick the Great episode 2. Extra history will be, that's who uploaded it. You can find their channel down below in the description, as well as the video link and as well as my Twitch link. I will be going live tomorrow on the 18th, Tuesday the 18th, which is tomorrow because today's the 17th. So that's tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time I'll be going live, but you just pay attention to the YouTube, my YouTube. I will have like a 10-20 second video pop up, and it will be saying I'm live and all this other stuff, okay? So, real fast, I am having to redo this video. That's why I'm in a different short and everything. So, I have to redo episode 2, and this is my second time redoing it. I just got done trying to redo it, but the audio was not captured. Besides mine, the video audio itself was not captured. So we gotta redo it again. So I'm totally cool with it, because Frederick the Great is definitely entertaining. He's definitely interesting to learn about, all this other stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you guys are new. Let me get that out of the way. Check the description, video link, channel link. My Twitch link will be down below as well, so check it out. So, we're going to jump into the reaction. I just realized the intro is a little bit long, so we're just going to get the reaction.
April 1734. It's the War of Polish Succession, and Frederick, Crown Prince of Prussia, is trying to be the man his father wants him to be. Though court-martialed after his attempted escape to England, he's been restored to military rank in order to gain battlefield experience.
Yes, he has.
But this is not how you run an army. Frederick is embedded with the forces of the Holy Roman Empire, confronting the French under the famed general, Prince Eugene of Savoy. Yet Eugene is a fated hero. He can pass wisdom and experience to Frederick, sure, yes, but he's also 70, frail, and can barely remember his last conversation.
True.
He's cautious and defensive, afraid to act. His body was still there, Frederick later observed, but his soul had gone. And the Imperial Army, well, it was weak, disorganized, and fractious. I could defeat this enemy, Frederick muses, and he would get his chance. For this terrorized prince was about to start a fire that would burn through Europe and the world.
True, and it did, because if it didn't, we wouldn't be learning about him today.
Say, would you happen to want to watch the next episode of this series immediately after watching this one instead of having to wait a full week? Well, now with the new Nebula First, you totally can. Learn how to get access through the Curiosity Stream Nebula bundle after the episode. At the end of last week's episode, Frederick decided to play the role of the dutiful son, and wait until his ill father died. He submitted to a new regime of tutors that focused on making him masculine, agreed to marry a woman he detested, and went to war. But a strange thing happened. Frederick actually became a pretty good soldier. As colonel of a regiment, he developed a fascination with strategy, battlefield tactics, and leadership. And while he never truly saw any action during the War of Polish Succession, he acquitted himself honorably. When he returned, his father, Frederick William, now confined to a wheelchair by gout, reconciled with his son. Proud of Frederick's progress, he gave him a lakeside castle, where he could indulge in artistic pursuits in private. Frederick and his wife, Elizabeth Christine, moved in, though in truth he largely kept clear of her. There, he read books, staged plays with friends, played the flute, set up a regular discussion group on military strategy, and recruited architects to expand his new home. It was the happiest time of his life, though he was clandestinely doing something else as well, preparing to become king. See, some of those architects started quietly taking trips on his dime, studying opera houses in Italy and France. He also immersed himself in philosophical writing, producing his first book, The Anti-Machiavel, an idealistic refutation of Machiavelli's The Prince. In the book, Frederick argues in favor of an enlightened absolutist monarch who would provide a moral example to his people and keep them healthy and happy. He then sent the manuscript to the French philosopher Voltaire, who edited it and prepared it for anonymous publication. Though his identity did leak immediately, it would have...
Meet 3 people who took control of their money
Oh,
with
where
a
the
Chase
hell it
Secure
got
banking
me?
account. No minimum deposit to open. Simple tools.
No, think
Control
about it. I
of
wonder how it got leaked.
One bank for
because,
today,
like, there was
and
no,
tomorrow. Chase. Make
there's
more
like
of what's
no
yours.
internet. There's nothing like that.
Give me
So
some tools
someone
that
had
I
to.
can use.
Someone gave out
Quiet,
that
thank you.
information, you know. So it's like, who did it?
Would eventually become a bestseller, with readers hoping to
It
gain
could
a
be
window
anyone. It
into
probably-
Frederick's mind. And
It could have even been that one dude he edited it and published it. You know, it could have been that dude as well who did it.
perhaps the greatest insights could be found in a section on the type of wars he considered just. It contains some of the things you'd expect, such as defensive wars or wars of last resort, but also what Frederick called wars of interest. In such a war, a king realizes an enemy is going to declare war on him in the future and preemptively attacks them in order to gain the greatest military advantage. Was Frederick already considering the moves he'd make during his reign? Well, it's possible. Though by this time, he had become adept at keeping people at a distance, hiding behind a series of masks and personas that sometimes contradicted one another. And more often than not, he adopted the part of a misanthropic loner. Some historians see this as a survival tactic, a response to trauma, and an attempt to hide his sexuality. But it did mean that even for close friends and ministers, it was really difficult to get inside Frederick's head. So it's hard to say exactly how Frederick felt in May of 1740, when he got word that his father was dying. Rushing to the palace in Berlin, they had time for one last talk. And it turned out that while opposite on all else, their political ambitions aligned. Both dreamed of uniting the scattered territories of Brandenburg, Prussia, currently sprinkled through the Holy Roman Empire or embedded with Poland, and both thought their kingdom could be one of the great nations of Europe. Then, on March 31st, 1740, Frederick William died in the arms of the son he'd tormented. But Frederick wasn't left alone. For now, he had the most efficient bureaucracy in Europe, an unmatched recruitment system, an army of 80,000, and an enormous war chest of funds, an amount his father had amassed by avoiding foreign wars.
I try to give everyone the benefit of doubt. I really do, but like some people just, it's kind of hard to give that to. I mean, I feel like his father was definitely someone it's hard to give the benefit of doubt to, you know? But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that.
Soldier King had, ironically, relied chiefly on clever diplomacy and never fully used the army he'd built. King Frederick II, however, would. But first, some fun. Frederick's immediate move after his father's death was to build an opera house. He wanted to invest in the arts and sciences, which, ironically enough, his father had defunded so badly that they actually had to borrow soloists from Saxony to sing at his funeral. Next up, no longer requiring a wife to mollify his father, Frederick sent poor Elizabeth Christine to a palace outside Berlin. She wasn't even invited to his coronation. Instead, he brought an Italian philosopher who was likely his lover, and the pair followed it up with a foreign trip together where they met Voltaire. Then, with all of that out of the way, Frederick prepared for a war of interest. October 20th, 1740, Vienna. Charles VI, Holy Roman Emperor and sovereign of the Habsburg dominions, is dead. All his life, Charles had been terrified that he would only have daughters, and because the laws of the Habsburg dominions said women could not inherit, his scattered territories would fragment in a succession crisis when he died. To prevent this, he'd issued the Pragmatic Sanction of 1713, declaring that a woman could inherit the Habsburg lands, and he spent most of his reign trying to get his neighbors to agree to it. Good thing, too, since his daughter Maria Theresa proved his most viable heir. Ironically, a woman Frederick tried to marry when he was searching for a bride. Now that'd be an alternate history novel worth reading. Charles had essentially bankrupted Austria in trying to bribe the great states into accepting the Pragmatic Sanction, a document they immediately backed off of as soon as he was dead. Austria's military was also weakened from a series of major wars, meaning the vultures were circling, seeing what they could pick off the Habsburg corpse. Of course, Austria also had something Frederick wanted: Silesia, a province that made up a third of Austrian revenue and sat right across the border from Brandenburg. But Frederick needed to make his move soon. Wait too long, and Saxony might take Silesia first, blocking Prussian expansion south. In 6 weeks, lightning speed in 18th century standards, Frederick had mobilized his army and crossed the border into Silesia. It was so easy at first, so much so that he could not have imagined that this act would set in motion a chain of events that would bring bloodshed not just to Central Europe, but to places as far away as Senegal, Brazil, India, and the Philippines. The First Silesian War and the War of Austrian Succession had begun. Prussian forces were practically unopposed, sweeping up the lightly defended province and taking forts. But Maria Theresa, who would become Frederick's lifelong rival, raised an army and began to oppose him. And so, Frederick II fought in his first battle. Molwitz, April 10th, 1741. As the Austrian cavalry comes at his right flank, Frederick realizes his mistake. He'd tried to run this battle like an exercise, like he was drilling troops. When they'd come upon the Austrians, they could have simply charged into the smaller, unready army, but instead, he'd formed up, putting his grenadiers between his cavalry, like the great Swedish king Gustavus Adolphus did in the 30 Years' War, a formation that would...
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes.
I can't skip it. Can I skip this one? I can skip this one, right? Tell me, yes, I can please skip this one. Please, 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 skip. Thank you.
Let the infantry murder cavalry with shots before his own mounted troops could countercharge. A battle plan out of a history book. It isn't working. Instead, the Austrian horse crashes into the right wing of his army and envelops it. His cavalry are standing still when the charge connects. The units mix in a battle of swords and pistols. And Frederick's in the thick of the fighting. It's confused and bloody. There's driving snow and fog, and both sides have white uniforms. The Prussian infantry and artillery keeps firing into their own ranks, mistaking comrades for the enemy. And the Prussian cavalry are starting to rout. Oh, Gustavus Adolphus, he thinks. Oh God, this is how Gustavus Adolphus died. Mixed with the enemy, lost in fog. Suddenly, a man grabs his reins. It's his general. He tells Frederick to flee the field. The battle seems lost, and if he falls, Prussia will too, for he has no heir. So Frederick turns his great charger and bolts toward the nearest town. And he doesn't see that behind him, while his cavalry has broken, the well-drilled Prussian infantry starts to move across the field like solid walls, firing in steady volleys, driving off the Austrian cavalry attack. It is Frederick's first battle, and he's running away. But his infantry, the great gift from his father, will stand and fight. Oh man, Zoe, what a cliffhanger. You know, I don't think I'm going to be able to wait a whole week to find out what happens to Fritz and his army.
I think that's it for the video. Hold up, let me double check. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Are ramping up a new...
Yeah, so that's it for the video. Let me know what you guys think about episode 2. I will say Frederick the Great is, he's definitely interesting to learn about. And I will say, I was told there's some more videos of extra history doing like these kind of series on just one person. So I think we are definitely going to be checking some more of that stuff out, because I really do like the way the animation is done and everything for it. I mean, it's really well done. He has his videos really well done. I mean, like most... Alright, let me just be honest. Almost every... Actually, no. 99% of the YouTubers right now, they're definitely better than my videos. You know what I mean? They're edited, they got, you know what I mean? They're well done. Mine are not. They won't be until a little bit more time. Just a little bit more time, and hopefully I can get what I need and everything, and then everything will be like going into place, if that makes any sense. And then eventually I can get to the editing, and you know what I mean? But I don't know, that's just like a lot of stuff I got learned still, so keep that in mind. So, but I mean, all honestly, I really enjoy doing YouTube. I love doing YouTube. I have fun with it. For me, it's just like streaming. Instead, it's not live. So, I mean, and I love streaming. I love doing YouTube. You know, so it is what it is. It's going to be a long journey. It's going to be, you know what I mean? No one's going to pop off just like that. You know what I mean? Just like bingo after bingo after bingo. You know. I mean, there's definitely YouTubers that are doing it, but they didn't start off that way. You know what I mean? It takes time. It takes years of work sometimes. You know what? You guys know what I mean. I'm just blabbing on and stuff. So, I will see you guys in the next video. You guys stay safe. Positivity is key. Motivation is key. Happiness is key. I'll see you guys in the next video. You guys stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys watch out for each other.